What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Average Bob, and in today's video I want to talk about the Giants free agent options at wide receiver. With around 43 give or take $1 million worth of cap space available, the Giants are in prime position to make a bid on one of the top tier free agents available at the wide receiver position. So in today's video we're going to talk about two options between T. Higgins and Chris Godwin. T. Higgins, a young dynamic receiver with elite playmaking ability. Chris Godwin, a crafty veteran who's been around the league for a while, won a Super Bowl, a sure-handed wide receiver who thrives under pressure. Both are game changers, but who's a better fit for Big Blue? Let's dive into it. The Giants already have a potential superstar in Malik Nabers, who lit up the league in his rookie season. But for an offense to truly dominate, it needs a secondary option and it needs a dynamic duo wide receiver. Think about the NFL's best passing attack. In Miami, you have Tyreek Hill and Jaden Waddle. In Philadelphia, you have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Then in Cincinnati, you have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. The Giants can create their own elite duo, but it comes down to the right choice. Do they go for the big athletic, high upside T. Higgins or reliable, polished veteran Chris Godwin? Let's talk about T. Higgins first. T. Higgins is 26 years old and been a dominant force at wide receiver for Cincinnati since he was drafted. Despite playing alongside Jamar Chase, he's produced at a wide receiver 1 level, and he's produced it last season while playing on the franchise tag, earning his highest Pro Football Focus receiving grade of his career at 88.3. What T. Higgins can bring to the Giants is elite size at 6'4", 215. That's a huge, massive red zone target that the Giants haven't had in quite some time. Shout out to my boy Plaxico Burress. He does also have proven production, has multiple 1,000-yard seasons, and he is a deep ball threat, can stretch the field and win contested catches. Again, things the Giants haven't done in recent years, throw the ball deep and win those 50-50 battles. The biggest catch for me here, all puns aside, is that Higgins has been injury prone. Let's call a spade a spade. I've drafted him a couple years in a row in fantasy, and he does miss a lot of time and sabotage my lineups those years. And he is also demanding wide receiver 1 money. And just looking at that, it could come around with like a $25 million per year price tag, which is a pretty penny. Do the Giants want to invest all of that in one single player in the offense when there are a lot of holes to fix on this team? If the Giants are ready to spend big, Higgins is the high upside swing, but there is another option available in reliable veteran playmaker Chris Godwin, who has had a very productive NFL career thus far. Before dislocating his kneecap in Week 7, the 28-year-old was on pace for another 1,000-yard season, posting 50 catch, 576 yards, 5 touchdowns in just 7 games. And Baker Mayfield's passing rater when targeting him was 127.5. Godwin has thrived no matter who his quarterback is. Obviously, Tom Brady is certain to help in that scenario, but also Baker Mayfield as well. And he's proven that he can produce in any offensive system. What Godwin could bring to the Giants is elite hands. He's one of the best possession wide receivers. And he is really good at running routes as well. He's able to find space and get open. And he does have that big game experience, as he did win a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. And the best part here, unlike Higgins, is that Godwin probably isn't going to be demanding a massive wide receiver 1 contract. And the Giants might be able to find some wiggle room here due to his recent injury history, that he could be coming at a little bit more of a discount. Even though it is free agency, guys get overpaid all the time. You can look at recent contracts around this. Look at like Gabe Davis last year, just as a quick example there. So for a team that's building and still potentially adding a rookie quarterback, Godwin, I believe, is a safer, more cost-effective choice here. But what is clear is that the Giants have two paths. They can go all in on Higgins, a high upside, dominant wide receiver 1 who could change the offense and be a great complement to Malik Nabers. He's already dealt with another wide receiver from LSU at Jamar Chase with Cincinnati. So there is a huge price tag associated with that, as well as the injury concerns. And Giants have gone down this, paying up for wide receiver when Dave Gettleman did it for Kenny Golladay. Golladay was made one of the highest paid wide receivers in the league, and he barely played for the Giants. So do I get PTSD just thinking about that? Absolutely, 100%. And then the other option is sign Chris Godwin, hopefully at somewhat of a discount. The veteran brings consistency, leadership, and reliability without breaking the bank. Personally, I would choose Chris Godwin. I mean, both of these guys have had great compliments within their offense. T. Higgins also had Jamar Chase. Chris Godwin also had Mike Evans. So they are very complimentary in, creating a duo and a tandem. They've proven that this could work. And I think Godwin can come in and not have to be, he could be very strong and productive and powerful, but he doesn't have to take away from anything that Malik Nabers is doing. Whereas T. Higgins might try and be like, I'm getting paid. I want to, be a little bit more of a diva. I don't see that really necessarily happening with Godwin. And most importantly, with Godwin, he won't crush the cap space. At least I believe so, just looking at the numbers. At the end of the day, both Higgins and Godwin would massively improve the Giants' wide receiver core. It would add another weapon alongside Malik Nabers. The thing is, sometimes when we have to pay wide receivers, it's usually a pretty penny. And both of these guys do have an injury checkmark next to them, which make them tough. But if you want to upgrade, this is the only way to do it unless you're going to trade for some disgruntled guys. So who should they choose? Should they pay up a pretty penny for T. Higgins and gamble on him being healthy for the rest of his career? Or more of an old, reliable veteran in 28 years old in Chris Godwin? Who do you want to see? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, please give a thumbs up or comment. It helps the algorithm. And stay tuned. I think next week we'll do a video about potential additions in the secondary, specifically cornerback. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.